Well, hello. I need a little advice, so maybe you could help. Yesterday, I voted in the primaries here in Tucson, Arizona, and something strange happened. I got a ballot, which is a paper ballot, and I look around, and there's four or six, a half dozen computers screens, and I asked them what they were for, and they were for people who needed a bit of extra help, they said. And there was about, this is a small place, there was about as many benches to fill in the paper ballots. I've never seen such a disconnect and that sort of thing. And I know I'm being paranoid, but I have good reason to be. Remember what they keep saying here in Tucson, that the computer programs all came out of Venezuela, and that's the same country we just threw the president out of. Even one of the guys who ran for Congress and won from Arizona here a couple of years back was on his payroll. It's perfectly legitimate to be, well, a bit skittish. Just to sneak something in, here in Tucson, they're called the Mexican Catholics, and there's one group, and there's just another word for an American Yank. And then there's the Fidel Castro Mexicans, and they're the same thing as the feminist movement and these university professors. And you have to be careful because there's some of these Republican guys are starting to take over the place. Remember, Donald Trump ran standing up to a bum's rush, and nothing's changed, and that's not his fault. And there's the Joe Biden Republicans, quote unquote, trying to sneak their way in. They're all the same group, guys. You got to get those guys out of there and get our guys back in there and go back to work. Remember what I fight for. I'm a Yank. I'm for a race relegated to an enduring quality of your parents. Then I become a good husband and a good father, and it's home economics. I'm a Catholic in the pews. I'm an American Yank. So maybe you could do me a favor. If every communist country, communism being the intellectual government, has a very corrupt election process. They brag about it. They don't call it corrupt. I do, or we do. So how do you stand up to it? They might finagle the computers. They might have ballot parties to everybody signs the same votes for the same character. They might have buyouts. They might register people to vote, but only have one party to vote for. You get the idea. So how would you stand up to it? How do you stand up to a bum's rush? Perhaps you could call up a radio talk show or a computer group and discuss the matter. Well, on YouTube, it's called The Priest or the Pimp. And on Facebook and Instagram and those things, it's called Time to Act. If you'll join the group, maybe we could do something about it. Thank you.